Please welcome Caitlin Halpern from SMUSH Gallery in Journal Square.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Like Meredith said, my name is Caitlin. I run SMUSH Gallery. We're kind of halfway between Journal Square and McGinley Square, and I round up to Journal Square because it helps people know where to take the train. And tonight we're here to talk about zines and how to make your own zine. And if on the break you didn't already help yourself to a piece of paper of any size, and some pens or pencils or markers, then I'm gonna do a little talking at the front end to give you time to go ahead and do that, because there will be a part of this where you have like a few minutes to make a zine, and if you don't have your materials, then it's just gonna be some awkward silence. So go ahead and get those while I tell you a little bit about why this is how I wanted to join you for tonight's JC Fridays. So the first thing is that zines are awesome, and that's why I wanted to talk about zine making with you. The other thing is that in fall, SMUSH is planning to put on the Zine Show, which will be a showcase of zines from across the country and hopefully throughout Jersey City, perhaps even some zines that are made tonight. And I wanted to make sure that everybody I know knows that I think that everybody can make a zine, and anyone, sorry, I said that backwards, anyone can make a zine and everyone should. And I would love for you to make a zine now or later and mail it to me so we can put it in the show. We're gonna take all of those and put them in a zine library elsewhere in Jersey City, probably in a coffee shop is my hope. I realized I didn't start my timer, so I'm doing that now. So that's kind of like the backstory on why the zine thing is, but like see the top of the presentation, zines are awesome. And let's talk a little bit about why. So like a lot of organically developed things, zines are kind of hard to define, although there is a pretty good write-up on Wikipedia, which I'll drop in the chat. But typically zines are small run, so they're like 100 or fewer that are made of a given zine, and they're DIY or self-published documents that are created by an artist or maybe a collective. Their tone, style, and content is totally up to the creator, as are the means and the materials of circulation. Many zines are passion projects. People mostly don't make money doing zines because it's really about getting those ideas out there. And personally, I take a pretty broad view of what a zine is. Like, note to anybody who's thinking about submitting one, I think that lots of things can count as zines, and if you think they are, then I probably do too. And as a zine maker, I really enjoy them for their flexibility and adaptability. A lot of you guys have your screens off. If you could go ahead and start your video, that will be a little bit useful for us later on, and will give me a sense of how many of you are ready with your materials. While we're continuing to get those together, I want to share with you just a couple of zines for inspiration from my personal collection. And I do want to note that a lot of the zines that I'm going to show you have a political message. Zines have long been circulated in subcultures to share ideas that are outside the mainstream or could benefit from a fresh or personal perspective. And that's what I'm sharing here. And when we make our zines together, mine will also have a political message, and that will be in support of the movement for Black Lives. So let's talk about these couple that I pulled for you. This is a zine called Coping, and it is made by a friend of mine out in San Francisco. It is like a very standard size and shape. We've got black and white. It's a lot of handwork. He's gone the extra mile and has used a sewing machine to stitch up the binding, so that's a little extra snazzy. And like tone-wise, this is super earnest. It's on a very focused topic, and it highlights who is involved in making it, which is 7th and 8th graders in San Francisco. So this is really like kind of a group project, self-help type of zine. I love this one. Let's look at this next one. This is a tiny little one by an artist that I know who works with computer layouts. So she's imported a ton of images and text of all different kinds of styles and has put them together and printed it out, and then done a really beautiful job putting the whole thing together. I got lost in the chat. She took submissions from a lot of people and then assembled this herself. So this is like a semi-collective type of affair here. And it's from Valentine's Day 2017. And then the last one I'll share you in our inspiration round is a zine called Dumpster Fire that I helped to make in 2016. This is also a political referent, and we used a number of things that are like obviously computer layouts. There's also some handwork and And this one has kind of a thematic core and then a lot of material that kind of riffs on that idea, which is the political dumpster fire that our country was as of 2016 and, you know, continues to be into today. Okay, a couple of ideas on the brain. Let's talk about making your own zine. So now is where you're gonna take your paper. I've chosen pink because it's great. And I'm gonna tilt down so we can kind of share a work surface. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. So for our one page, the kind of zine that we're gonna make is called a one-page poster zine, and it functions both as a zine and as a poster, and it only takes one piece of paper. It's super great. So what we're gonna end up with is a little booklet that has 6 pages on the inside, plus a front and a back cover, and then the like postery side of it. So in order to not get confused about which is gonna be our booklet side and which is gonna be our zine side, let's go ahead and take our marker, pen, pencil, whatever you like, and let's just make a border around the edge of one side of the paper. I like squiggly waves. So I am gonna set myself up like that. Okay. So now I've marked out, here's my one page that's gonna be the poster, and then the side that is still blank is where my information is gonna end up going. Now it's origami time. We're gonna take the poster side and fold it in on itself, hot dog style, for you 90s kids out there. And you wanna crease it really, really well. Use your nail or a hard edge if you can, and do yourself a favor now and reverse the crease and really smooth it out from both sides. This is gonna be helpful later. When you feel like you and your crease are groovy, then you can close it back with the poster on the inside. Then we're gonna go end to end and fold it in half, hamburger style. And you're gonna crease that end, use your nail, you can use the edge of your marker, really get that crease in there. Do yourself a favor, flip it inside out, reinforce the crease from the other side. And so now you have a paper that's in quadrants. We're gonna keep going, we need 8. So you're gonna take your long end and fold it right into the middle. Try not to overlap it if you can, that'll make it your life easier in a minute. And you're gonna crease the outside. And then you're gonna do the same thing on the other side, outside edge in, so that it looks like you've made a little book. Spoiler, we're making a little book. All right. Once you have your paper like so, do yourself a favor, flip it over, reverse those creases to the other side. Okie dokie. So now we have a paper that is in 8 parts. And this, I'm gonna show you my face because this is serious business. Now, I need you to be a little bit picky with what you're doing. So for your own self, put your finger at the inside where you're like 1 square in on either side, and maybe make a little dot if you think that would be helpful or if this is new to you. So your dots should be, I don't know if you can see those, but like right on these edges. And we need these because our next step is to either cut or open up the seam right along here. If you're fancy and you have scissors or an X-Acto knife, you can do that. But I like to just go ahead and lick the edge on both sides, soften up that crease, and then we're gonna gently tear it open, but not the whole way, only between those 2 little dots. Otherwise, you're gonna have to use tape. And that would be a tragedy. Okay. So once you've got your creases kind of ready to go, oops, back down here, then just very gently ease that open until you have like a little slit mouth in the middle of your paper. Okay, it's looking good. I see that Courtney's there, I see Meredith is there. We're gonna keep moving. Fold it back up, poster side in. And now this is a little bit, this is like the magic part. You want to take the middle crease on both sides and kind of pop it out so that you have this kind of semi pinwheel type of thing. There's your opening. and you're gonna pull it shut so that now you have 4. Great, and now whichever way your paper wants to fold in on itself, you fold that around to make a little book. I'm gonna show that again because I'm seeing confusion on some faces. I see that you're getting to this part, which is great. Fold, fold all the edges together until now you've got a little book.
Okay.
Yay, okay, the people that I can see are following, and I'm gonna trust that. Yes, okay, I see that many of us are there. Great. So now is the part where you make your zine. So as promised, you now have a front cover and a back cover, and if you open it up, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 pages to work with on the inside. Okay, so your content can be whatever you like, but I told you that the one that I was gonna make was Black Lives Matter, and like on a cooking show, voila, mine is done already. So mine says, say their names on the outside, and then on the inside, it has the names of Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd, along with the say their name hashtags and the most prominent hashtag with each name on the back, hashtag say their names, and don't stop there with a little bit of citation information. I'm gonna go ahead and put this exact text that I chose to use in the chat in case you would like to use that to make your zine tonight. That's super duper. If you wanna make your zine about something else or in a different style, then you go right ahead, and we're gonna take like 3 minutes for you to do that, and I will attend to the chat and help out with anybody who might be having issues getting to this point. Okay, so we got 3 minutes. I'll put that text in, and then we'll regroup to like share what we've done. Boom. Okay, a couple of other things. I forgot about my poster on the inside. You might want to attend to that too. Once you're finished doing all your 6 pages, you can go ahead and write Black Lives Matter real big on the inside, or something that is relevant to the zine that you are making. Let me see what we've got in the chat. Will this work with paper of a different size? It certainly will. I like to save my receipts and make super tiny zines that are exactly the same. You could also make this with a giant paper, and it would be like a functional poster that somebody could hang on the wall of their dormitory. Okay, I don't see any other questions at this point. Yes. I also like to do live zines with those, like when I go to a concert, and like use them as living documents of what I've seen on the stage and hand them off to performers. That's personal. Okay, I'm gonna flip through the gallery and see, can zines have pop-ups? I'm thinking this question might mean like a pop-up element like in a book, pop-outs? Hold on, Andrea, where are you? Can you unmute yourself and I can answer your question?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. I just have a baby, so she's sleeping now, but I didn't know she was, when she'll cry.
Yeah, sure.
I'm curious about, I guess it could work. I'm a teacher, but I'm kind of interested in if, like sometimes you open a book and there can be like a little pop out, like elementary school books or like things like that. Like, so you open the page and something sort of pops out at you. As opposed to just being like 2-dimensional, like having a little 3-dimensional element in it.
Yes, I'm gonna say yes. I can't say that I've seen one exactly like that in the zines that I've personally encountered, but I think that would be incredible.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah, sure. All right, how are we doing on our 3 minutes? Okay, I think we probably have about 1 more minute to work on our zines. While that's going, for anybody who might be with us who hasn't chosen to make one, I'm just going to put some more information in your ears. So let's say that you want to make a zine that's not restricted to this format that we've talked about tonight. You're interested in one of the other ones. Let's say that you want to make one of these kind of like more booklet-like type of things. The biggest tip that I can give you is to make sure that when you plan your material that you work in multiples of 4. Because anytime you take a piece of paper and fold it in half, you end up with 1, 2, 3, 4. And I've made this mistake myself, and I ended up with 2 blank pages at the back of my zine, and that was not my favorite. As far as binding goes, a stapler will work, and if you can get, this was a Christmas present from my dear husband, a stapler that reaches all the way to the middle of the page. This will make your life so much easier. But let's say you're like, no binding, I don't want to do it, folding is for me. Make a brochure. You can do a trifold, you can do a bifold, and then you got lots of panels that you can work with to have all that zine fun that you want to have. What else? Oh, unbound. This is super groovy. You can make a zine that is just separate pages or cards, and then maybe you like stick them in an envelope and they are your zine. Very artsy, very lovely. Okay, I feel like time might be operating a little bit differently than what I am expecting, but let's go ahead, and if you've made a zine, you can turn your camera on. Go ahead, turn your camera on and hold it up. Let's see a couple of the things that have been made. Oh, I see a cat zine. What's up, Emily? I see Meredith has made, oh, I've got a social emotional learning zine. Yes, that's not Meredith, sorry. I don't know how to make all these big. How to be a better lover, crucial information for these troubled times. Okay, if you like your zine that you made, you can photocopy it front and back, fold it, split it, and then you're in business, right? Make us something great. Send us what you made tonight. We'll put it in the zine show. I'll put the call for art in the chat. It's free to submit. We just want to see what you're making. Anybody can make a zine and everyone should. Okay, I think that's my time. Thanks, guys.